the bell for round one, let's take time out to visit the camps and see how each man trained for the big fight. Joe Louis makes his camp at Pompton Lakes, New Jersey. In the white T-shirt at Louis' left is trainer Manny Seaman. And here's Joe ready for a workout. He emerges from his dressing room, then huddles with trainer Seaman. It's a warm, sunny day, so Joe decides to work outdoors. In recent years, Louis has picked up a great deal of bulk in both his legs and his chest. He weighed in for this match with Marciano at 212 3/4 pounds. At the peak of his career, his effective fighting weight was closer to 200. Louis is 6 feet 2 inches tall, and when these films were taken, he was 37.5 years old. Joe has long arms, as you can see. His reach is 76 inches, 9 inches more than Rocky's 67. Before sparring, some limbering up calisthenics. Not bad for a man nearing 40. That's enough of the bicycle, Joe. Now, how about a few sit-ups? Grease on his face helps to guard against cuts that might handicap the bomber in the big fight. Then his hands are taped. On goes the helmet. And finally, the gloves. When Louis finished this intensive 4-week training siege, he had boxed a total of 92 rounds. Near the end, he blasted a sparmate to the canvas with a right-left combination. Then he went 2 rounds against well-known heavyweight Elkin's brothers. Brothers, playing Marciano, kept on crowding Louis, just as Rocky was sure to do. But Joe backed into the ropes several times and cracked his defensive shell with ripping rights. That right, you remember, has always been the bomber's most effective weapon. Yet, in the big fight, we'll see Louis relying principally upon his left jab, as he's been doing here. Joe's prediction? He'll win over Marciano by a knockout. Meanwhile, at Greenwood Lake, on the border between New York State and northern New Jersey, Rocky Marciano was completing his training under the astute supervision of trainer Charlie Goldman. Rocky stands 5 feet 11, 3 inches shorter than Joe Louis. His weight going into the big fight was 184, nearly 29 pounds lighter than Joe. His reach, you remember, is 9 inches shorter. The fact is that Rocky is smaller in measurement right down the line. He was 27 years at the time, more than 10 years the bomber's junior, but 11 years shy his opponent's ring experience. The slight favorite at fight time was not Rocky Marciano, but Joe Louis. Rocky likes to skip rope, and he loves road work. Even on vacation, he likes to get up early and run a few miles before breakfast. Here's Charlie Goldman adjusting Rocky's helmet. You notice the helmet is cut a little differently from the one worn by Louis. This one has special guards to protect the cheekbones. Goldman has been Marciano's trainer right from the start. It was to Goldman that manager Al Weil entrusted this crude, unorthodox slugger who knew little about the science of boxing. Goldman, one of the top trainers in the business, is confident he has taught Rocky how to handle Louis. Here he is lacing Rocky's gloves prior to a few rounds of sparring. All in all, Rocky boxed 109 rounds while in training. You see him here wearing that cheek-protecting helmet. And if you watch closely, you'll find him ducking from time to time into a little crouch that he claims he patterned after Jack Dempsey's. That's not a defensive crouch. It's a position for attack, a method for crowding in. He's to improve it later on in his career. Because he's shorter than most of the heavyweights he faces, Rocky often pitches an overhand right. Watch. Remember that overhand right. We'll see the Brockton strong boy using it constantly in the big fight. The day before he was to meet Lewis, Rocky said, "I never predict I'll knock anybody out, but I'm confident, very confident I'll win." Back in the garden now, we find the chairman of the Athletic Commission, Bob Christenberry, speaking to attentive Toots Shore. And there's the current heavyweight champion, Jersey Joe Walcott, and J. Edgar Hoover, Stuart Symington on his left. Rocky Marciano meets Joe Louis at the center of the ring for last-minute instructions by referee Ruby Goldstein. And in a moment, round one of a scheduled 10-round bout. Joe Louis, balding and bulky, eagerly answers the bell. The big question tonight, can the ex-champion come back? He's the slight favorite. Rocky maneuvers Louis to the ropes and lands a right to the jaw in the opening seconds of round one. Louis seeking to beat Marciano and thus regain the role of leading contender for the heavyweight crown. Marciano going for his 38th straight win, his 33rd by knockout. Louis working behind his left jab. Marciano about to loop an overhand right. That's the punch you saw Rocky demonstrate in training, remember? Now you'll throw another, a sweeping overhand right that misses. Marciano's right is his most damaging weapon. Rocky bobbing and weaving a bit. In his later fights, he uses a crouch more pronounced than the one you'll see him use tonight. Look, Marciano, by far the lighter man, is pressuring Louis. Watch him, and you'll see him pounding to Louis' body. Pounding with his right at short range before the ex-champion ties him up. Again, Marciano bullies Louis to the ropes, trying to free his right hand. Rocky is devastating when he pins his man against the strands, a fact borne out time and time again in subsequent fights. Louis, another hard right-hand hitter, has caught many a rival against the ropes himself over the years. He's had 70 professional fights. And for the third time in the round, Marciano forces Louis to the ropes. He fires to the body and gets in a left uppercut. Louis tries to punch his way free, but at the end of round one, it's a good Marciano round. Trainer Manny Seaman whispers last-minute instructions to Joe Louis as he answers the bell for round two and catches a winging left hook from Rocky Marciano. Once more, Louis finds his back to the ropes. Rocky forced him to the strand 3 times in the first round. And here he is, still bullying the ex-champion. Marciano likes to pin his man back, then go to work on the head and body. Rocky, about to miss a right, lands a hard left hook to the head. He's pressuring, gunning for a shot at the heavyweight title. Did you see how quickly he recovered after the miss? Marciano bobbing and weaving, He hasn't as yet perfected that attacking crouch for which he later becomes famous. A sweeping right by Marciano misses and strikes the ropes with such an impact they quiver for moments afterward. Lewis back to a corner. Joe Louis, generally recognized as one of the greatest heavyweight champions of all time, finds himself bullied, crowded, pressured by a smaller, lighter, but harder-hitting Marciano. Rocky won the first round. He's been constantly the aggressor here in round 2. Here comes a hard left-right left by Marciano, working on the body with his man pinned to the ropes. Rocky gets in a solid winging right to the head. You can see that Louis feels those punches. Rocky's really pouring it on. Louis, you remember, became champion of the world by knocking out Jim Braddock in 1937. He successfully defended the crown 25 times before he gave it up in 1949. Up till then, he had been defeated only once, by Max Schmeling. But when he tried to regain the crown in 1950, he was outpointed by Ezzard Charles, and he faded in subsequent fights with Cesar Brion, Emilio Agramonte, and Jimmy Bivens. Louis twice outpointed Brion and expected Marciano to be no tougher. A winging right grazes Lewis's jaw. Marciano goes to work on the body at the end of round 2. A big round for Rocky. Joe Louis, in dark trunks, knows he's behind as he answers the bell for round 3. The reflexes of this 37-and-a-half-year-old ex-champion seem to be rusted through, and some observers at ringside have even been predicting an early knockout. But now you'll see some of the old bomber coming back. You'll see him using his once famous left jab, the punch he always used to set up his barrages. 17,000 fans in Madison Square Garden are wondering if the ex-champion can stage a comeback. Remember, Louis is the slight favorite tonight. Win or lose, he collects $94,000, a big chunk of which goes to Uncle Sam for back taxes. Marciano gets $50,000. Rocky pushes Louis away. He's looking for an opening for that right-hand bomb of his. Louis, too, has always been a hard right-hand hitter. Louis pawing with his left. He wants to keep this Marciano away from him. He wants to move in, to stalk. Louis, you remember, was always the master stalker. Now, here he is, being pressured himself. Rocky misses a sweeping right. Now keep watching, and you'll see him duck straight into a left hook by Louis. Months before, Joe hurt his left hand in a fight with Jimmy Bivens. It was damaged again here in the 3rd round. But we're going to see the bomber throwing that left jab again and again in the rounds to come. It's the only weapon he still commands completely. For the first time in the round, Joe Louis finds his back to the rope. But you'll see him move out of there and circle around to get back to mid-ring. Louis moving a little better in this round. But again, he's back to the ropes, where Marciano fails to land effectively. Those long lefts by Louis are meant to keep Marciano away and to set him up for a hard right or a barrage. Apparently, those jabs by Louis are beginning to bother Marciano. The Brockton strong boy will miss some sweeping blows. First, a right. Now, another right. And a left. Another right. And finally, the punch, now winding up in right field, a roundhouse right. Lewis again on the ropes in the final seconds of round 3. A frame will call even. Rocky Marciano in white trunks answers the bell for round 4 of a scheduled 10-round bout. Watch him throw a left and catch a left to the face by Lewis. Joe keeps working that left, the only weapon proving effective for him tonight. Here we have a great champion on his way down, meeting a blockbusting youngster on his way up. The winner eventually to take a crack at the heavyweight crown. Rounds 1 and 2 went to Marciano, but we saw Joe Louis coming back stronger in the third. And he's going to do even better here in the fourth. Lewis keeps flicking in that left jab. Joe seems unable to put together those famous barrages of his. Barrages that so far have mowed down 56 rivals. In rounds 1 and 2, we saw Marciano using an overhand right. Now watch this one by Lewis that glances off Rocky's back. Ordinarily, that punch is used by a shorter man against his taller rival. Yet we've already seen that Lewis has 3 inches on Marciano in height and 9 inches in reach. For most of the round, they slug away at close range, with both men trying a number of uppercuts. Here comes a right uppercut by Marciano. It fell short. He tries another before Lewis ties him up. Marciano's nose is starting to bleed. Rocky about to wing a right that misses. And if you keep watching, you'll see him miss again with a hard right uppercut. He's missing a great deal, as you can see. And now Marciano seems unable to bully Joe around the ring. Joe's making his best showing of the fight so far. Just a few seconds remaining in round 4, a round awarded by all 3 ring officials to ex-champion Joe Louis. Joe Louis, in dark trunks, leaves his corner with a bounce, as though having caught his second win. Neatly, he blocks the left hook by Marciano and uses his left jab to make Rocky miss with his right. Watch. Joe won the last round, and he seems completely confident here in the 5th. So far, he's been doing little damage with his once-celebrated right hand and has been relying heavily upon his jab. There's that jab to the face by Louis. From the very start, Marciano has been doing the crowding, taking the play from Louis, who once was the stalker himself. A right to the body, then a shove, sends Louis to the ropes. Joe's left jab is keeping Rocky off target a great deal in these last 2 rounds. And yet Louis claimed later he had injured his left hand in the 3rd round. At At this stage of the fight, it seemed to many ringsiders that the ex-champion might pull it out by courage and heart alone, backed up by that effective left jab. It seemed as though the man once famous for his stalking methods, his blazing barrages, might succeed in outboxing the cruder, less polished Marciano. Lewis using a wider stance now. He's becoming a little more flat-footed. This has been a good round for Joe, but here we see telltale signs that the ex-champion is tiring. Still, he's moving pretty well and manipulating that left. Lewis pushes Marciano away. He's tired of being crowded by the bobbing, weaving, unorthodox aggressor. Lewis lands a left jab, followed by a left hook. Both good punches. There's a cut now under Rocky's right eye. And his nose is bleeding again. It was bleeding in the fourth. Here comes the end of round 5. The second in a row awarded unanimously to Joe Lewis. In round 6, Marciano once again took command, just as we'll see him do here in round 7. As early as the 5th round, we saw Lewis tiring. And now here he is, becoming still more flat-footed. The elasticity gone from his legs. Lewis has won his last round. When Marciano sends in a left to the body, watch Lewis return a counter right. So far, that right has caused little real damage. A winging right by Marciano misses the target. But as Lewis picks out his jab, you'll see him catch a right, then a left, driving him to the rope. Here comes another right. Lewis, in dark trunks, has been trying to fire a barrage to the body, one of his most devastating maneuvers when he was in his prime. But so far, his legs and slower reflexes have made barrages impossible. Joe is far too busy dodging Marciano's savage wallop. The Lewis we're seeing tonight has but a faint resemblance to the great Brown Bomber who ruled the heavyweight roost for nearly 12 years. Another sweeping right by Rocky misses. Remember, Marciano was on his way up at this time, and not even his fans were fully aware of the power in that right. Neither was Rocky. Marciano trying uppercuts, crowding Lewis toward the ropes. Rocky hooks to the head and forces Lewis to the adjacent strands. Lewis attempting to cover. He's definitely on the defensive. Lewis fighting back inside, but throwing fewer punches than Marciano. Again, Lewis is forced to the ropes. He fights his way off, but the end is near. Round 7 awarded unanimously to Marciano. At the bell, they come out slugging for round 8. Rocky pressuring right from the start, as though determined to end the fight in this round. And as things turned out, that's just the way it happened. Let's watch closely now and see exactly how Marciano knocked out one of the greatest champions the ring has ever known. Rocky's crowding leaves little room for Lewis to punch. Marciano's short arms, normally a handicap, actually are an advantage at close range because he generates terrific power. It's a matter of leverage, properly applied. Here comes that big right we've seen Marciano using throughout the fight. It connects with Joe's ear. Keep watching for that punch. That's the one that spells finish for Lewis. Lewis jabbing, but it's purely defensive. He's flat-footed, tired. As he's driven back to the ropes, a favorite maneuver of Marciano's, one he's been using to good advantage throughout the fight. Marciano exerting more and more pressure as he moves in for the kill. Rocky about to glance a right off Lewis' jaw. And see how quickly he moves in, giving Joe no time at all to catch his breath. Now watch this. Marciano's hard left hook sends Lewis sprawling to the canvas. Referee Ruby Goldstein counts to 8 before Lewis gets back to his feet. Rocky tears in to follow through his advantage before Lewis ties him up. You can see that Lewis is in trouble. He's hurt. Marciano pitching with everything he's got. Backs his man to the ropes to finish him off. Now watch. A left. Another left crumples Lewis. A blazing right. And Lewis sails through the ropes. The working press try to help Joe back off the ring apron. Referee Goldstein on the left simply looks at the stricken fighter and knows that the ex-champion is finished for the night. Kneeling in the dark suit is Dr. Vincent Nardiello. Lewis is out. Brought down by a power-packed right to the jaw at 2 minutes, 36 seconds of the 8th round. This is the second time in his career he was knocked out, and the first since Max Schmeling did it in 1936. Rocky is congratulated by trainer Charlie Goldman on the left and by his old-time friend Ali Colombo. Lewis fought only exhibitions after that. As he himself summed up his knockout by Marciano, the reactions were not there. My age counted against me. The Brown Bomber fell October 26, 1951 in the big fight.